a lot of people know what he did in Japan and like on the independents after that. It's like he was a veteran on the independents, and he was always someone that you could go to for advice, someone that you could look to be like, a locker room leader. But also, he had a huge time in Japan where he was very successful.
Brody King, welcome down to the Apter chat. Your first time here.
Here we are. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's good. I love your memorabilia in the back there. Lots of good stuff. Want to talk to you about a bunch of things in AEW. Of course, the great thing is that AEW just signed a new deal with Warner Brothers, and tell us what you felt like when you heard that.
It's obviously a relief. It feels good. It's validation. It's proving the naysayers wrong. But it's just nice to know that we have a home for the next X amount of years, and that home is where we're currently at with TBS and TNT and Warner Brothers. And I'm more excited that it'll be streaming on Max, because there's a lot of young people like myself. We don't have cable TV. We usually stream everything or watch it later, and I feel like I feel like we're gonna have a lot more of a household name with people being able to easily access it through Max.
Yeah, I mean, people these days, they're away from the TV set and they're watching everything on their phones.
Yeah, I consume all my media through my phone, basically. I don't even have a computer.
What's going to happen to your eyes?
Maybe one day they'll fall out. Who knows?
I do want to discuss something that was pretty telling. The Darby Allin hitting you in the head with a rock. Tell us about that. Tell us about that.
Well, I should have had some foresight. I may have answered his open challenge in a surprising way to him. And, with our history, we haven't always been as courteous to each other. Mm-hmm. So, I should have seen it coming, I guess. But I'll give him the one up on that one. He surprised me with holding that giant piece of concrete in his pocket.
He's become a very unusual thinker, a very unusual person.
I don't think he's become that way. He's always been that way.
When did you first meet him? I mean, was he like that when you first met him?
We met, I think it was 2017. And yeah, he's always been an oddball. He's always, slept in his car, wore the same clothes for weeks on end. He leaves his face paint on nonstop. He's a strange guy, but somehow we kind of view the world in the same lens. We both come from alternative music backgrounds. Him more of like a punk background, me more of a punk hardcore background. But a lot of our bass lines and a lot of the ways that we look at life and family and wrestling and music are very similar.
Tell us about your group, God's
Hate.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Yeah. So we're a hardcore band from Van Nuys, California. We've been a band for 10 years now, but almost the same amount of time that I've been a pro wrestler. And yeah, we do about 10 shows a year, give or take. Make it work when I can, around wrestling. Trying to kind of piggyback off of some wrestling stuff. Like, I don't know if we'll have it announced yet, but maybe you'll be breaking it, that we'll have a show the day after Full Gear in Brooklyn, New York, at Meadows in Brooklyn, which is like a 500 cap room. Yep. So we usually try to keep things intimate and smaller, and people jumping on each other's heads, people beating each other up. It's all good fun.
I'm a Barry Manilow guy, so
you'll fit right in.
Yeah, right. I fit right in. I rap Barry Manilow songs. Her name was Lola. She was his showgirl at the frickin' Coke Buck. Anyway, let's get
You think you know all the wrestling stories? There's more you haven't heard yet. Join us on Backstage Pass.
Let's get back to wrestling. Recently, AEW had a surprise visit from someone who's now trying to get a whole stable together, and I'm talking about MVP. He's brought Shelton Benjamin. Bobby Lashley's in the background, from what I understand here. Tell us about MVP coming to AEW, and if he approached you with an offer, would you accept it?
If anybody knows my career, I've actually had a lot of history with MVP. We wrestled at MLW. When I was on the Indies, he was kind of like, he's one of the first people to like kind of take me under his wing, and I would consider him a mentor. He gave me a lot of great advice when I was very young into the business that I still hold true today. So when I saw him show up on AEW, it was just as much of a surprise to me as it was to the audience.
Right.
And, I walked right up to him after he was done and, said, "Welcome to AEW. Glad you're here." And, gave him a hug and a handshake. And, you never know what's down the line in pro wrestling. You never say never. But I think right now my loyalty lies with the House of Black. And, the future, maybe MVP joins the House of Black. You never know,
Well, that's interesting, but I think he's out for, MVP and trying to get his own stable. So you might have a little bit of confusion there, trying to decide. What were your matches like with him?
Intense. I mean, he was the first IWGP Intercontinental Champion. Like he did such big things in WWE, but I don't know if a lot of people know what he did in Japan and like on the independents after that. It's like he was a veteran on the independents, and he was always someone that you could go to for advice, someone that you could look to be like, a locker room leader. But also, he had a huge time in Japan where he was very successful. He's a wealth of knowledge that I think that a lot of people, especially the younger people at AEW, I hope, use.
Okay, he's got that glow in his eye again. I could see it on TV. What about Shelton Benjamin?
I mean, Shelton's another, freak athlete. He's another person who had
freak athlete. I like that. Explain that.
He is. I mean, he was a phenomenal collegiate wrestler, and then the things that he's done in the ring are amazing. I mean, to be doing this at the level he's been doing it for the last 20 years has been, amazing. And I feel like anyone, you have to have a different type of body and mindset to be able to withstand that and also produce a product of a high caliber for that many years. And if you watch Shelton Benjamin's career in New Japan Pro Wrestling, it was amazing. His stuff with Kurt Angle was obviously amazing. Like, he's just been crushing it this whole time.
Yeah. He's a veteran, but he's still really, really got it. What about Bobby Lashley? Have you had any run-ins or contact with him at all?
I've never met him. I've never had any contact with him, but I'm looking forward to maybe one day standing across the ring from him. I'm never scared of a big challenge.
No, you know what he looks like. You've seen him wrestle in other companies.
Of course.
How would you approach a match against Bobby Lashley? Because he's an amazing athlete.
Hit him first and hit him hard. You know what I mean?
Get the jump on him.